Hello everyone and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3. We are playing a random map as Djibouti in modern-day France. Our capital, I believe, is Orléans, right down here, yeah. But Paris is one of our main cities, as is London up here, which is pretty fantabulous, if you ask me. Our primary targets are at this point Romania and the Soviet Union. But we have yet another year before we can actually go and attack anybody, basically. So we've got a decent amount of time to build up and prepare for what will hopefully be a fun and interesting war. We have 10 more days of focusing on research before we're going to switch it up and invest a whole bunch in officers, because right now our officer ratio is a pitiful 1%, which means that we are only regaining our organization at 1% of normal. On top of that, our maximum organization is 1% of normal. It's absolutely abysmal. Our infantry have a maximum organization right now of 1/2. It's absolutely disgustingly abysmal. Their max organization is 30. It's just so horrible. So we're going to be focusing on that. That'll basically make it so that our troops can actually fight instead of just, existing on the map. We are not doing heavy industry emphasis here because it's going to drastically increase the amount of consumer goods we need. We might be thinking about that later on down the line once we're actually in a little bit of war. Right now we are building a group of destroyers, 2 light cruisers, and a escort carrier. We are working on industrial capacity and convoys. We just finished up our cavalry brigade, our cavalry corps, and we are working on armored brigades to attach to them, to turn them from a cavalry corps into, I guess I didn't save the template, but we're going to do something like this, I believe, light armor cavalry armored car. We'll save that template for now. We'll probably switch over to motorized infantry as soon as we actually research that. That is a 1938 tech, so right now, if we continue on at the current rate, it will be done in March of 1938, which is pretty soon, but we do need quick divisions before that. Right now we have 1 corps of them, and in August of 1937 we'll have the armored brigades actually deployed to the front lines. We are working on our mountain corps. I keep using those 2 words basically interchangeably, and they're not interchangeable. And we're working on another infantry corps, so I think that we should make another infantry corps just to round ourselves out. You really can't go wrong with more infantry, and it seems like our primary resource at this point is going to be our manpower. We are running remarkably short on energy and rare materials and metal. So basically everything. but we're going to conquer our way out of that predicament, I think. And yep, there we go. Our first mounted corps is fully fleshed out, and we just need to deploy those armored divisions to those armored brigades to those divisions. Excuse me, please. And then we'll be all set, all good to go. So we're going to wait until the beginning of 1937, and then we're going to switch our leadership from technology over to officer production. And there it is. Just wait for the autosave to get done. Any day now. There we go. 2 o'clock, 1st of January, 1937. We have made it up to 2%, but it's going to swap around right quick. And honestly, we might have wanted to do it the other way around. We might have wanted to churn out officers in the beginning, because now all of that ahead of time tech is no longer ahead of time. So this motorized infantry that just previously we were going to have it done by March of 1938. Now, because it's no longer ahead of time, we're going to have it done in October of 1937. So that's a swing of about 5 months there. It's pretty fantastic. And we might be sort of shooting ourselves in the foot here, because we're pulling so much of our leadership off of research and slapping it onto officers. But we will be getting almost 70 officers per day with this roughly even split, which is pretty nice. It's still going to take us a significant amount of time to get up to the proper ratio, but this should help us rather quickly, actually, in fleshing out our officer ratio, and actually we can sit here and watch the max organization go up on our infantry brigades. It was at 0.5 before, and we've already tripled it by moving up to 5%. Now we're at 6% officer ratio. We can basically watch it go all the way up, and really that's just going to make us that much stronger. Okay, we've got another light aircraft, another interceptor done. We're building one more, and let's just queue up another 2 more. Our practical is doing pretty well, honestly. Actually, let's wait to queue them up until this one finishes, so that we can get the full advantage of all of that practical that we're going to get when that next one gets deployed. Lose money for plus 15% officer recruitment? Yes, please. Yes, please. Now we actually are up to 70. That's a nice modifier. It came at just the right time, too. Alright, we are officially above 10%. That was quick. It's not even the end of January yet. We still only have a max organization of 3.5 on our infantry, so we are going to want to continue to focus on this. But all in all, I think it is a good direction we're heading in. Okay, so I think we're going to want 1 corps of infantry up here as sort of the help to the garrison. So we're going to deploy this next, this 5th corps of infantry to St. Nazaire, and then immediately load them all up on the transports and drop them off up here in Plymouth. And we can redeploy them to our front line with, who is this? Romania up here. So we're going to have 1 in Worcester, 1 in Evesham. We're going to have the Corps HQ as well as an infantry division over here in Coventry. Leicester gets 1, and then Northampton gets 1 as well. And that leaves us with another 6 production left to do. Suppose we could slap on another infantry division. That wouldn't be the end of the world. Well, how about we slap it onto some upgrades? We'll bring it up to 10 upgrade, 10 IC dedicated to our upgrades. Did we finish something else now? Oh, I've turned off all of these messages down here. There we go. Okay. No, we just got more IC. Okay, yeah, the IC situation is going to be interesting for us because we're not utilizing all of the IC that we possibly could. I believe that with our current modifiers, our base IC will go up to like 300 or something available IC, but we do not have enough energy. We cannot get enough energy to be able to actually utilize all of it. So this number bounces around a little bit. Now it's down to 273. And just a little bit ago it was up to 275, so it'll bounce around just a little bit. It's not that big of a deal though. We're still churning out a whole bunch of industrial capacity on a daily basis. It's pretty nice actually. So, end of January, we've gained 15% of our officer ratio, which is pretty nice. It's going to get more and more difficult to get this as we obviously continue to deploy more and more infantry in that. But that's okay. I mean, it's strengthening us either direction. We finished radios, so now we get that plus 10% combat efficiency bonus, just basically flat across the board, which is pretty nice. And we do want radar, but it's not, primary importance right now. What we obviously need, though, is education, and we're going to pop that up to the top there. It should be done November of 39. That's pretty horrible, actually, but it is pretty important technology to get. We are using too much production yet again, so we can't swap that over to upgrades because, all right, we need to actually decide what to build again. Do we have naval bombers yet? No, we don't. Are we actually researching anything with regards to that? No, we aren't. Let's double click on that. I usually steer clear of strategic bombers, just because I focus on more of an air superiority policy than basically anything else. I suppose we could. No, I don't want to start on light cruisers until we get those two practical. Maybe we could expand an airbase somewhere, like down here. You're the only airbase in the southern region. Let's just queue you up to max. Yeah, that sounds fine. And it looks like we've only got one airbase Well, we've got two of them right next to each other up in the Paris region. Let's turn... See, is there any important... Yeah, let's turn this one. Saint-Pourquoi de Soir. Let's key this one up to max as well. It's sort of a sink for our IC, like it's not directly helping us, but it will allow us a little bit more flexibility when it comes to our actual deployment of our air units. So it's really not that big of a deal, but more flexibility is good, generally speaking, anyway. So, 12th of February, we're up to 21% officer ratio. Pretty fantastic. And let's take a look at our spies. We do have a bunch of influence. I'm glad we stole some stuff from our influence. Spies. Okay, what we are going to do is make the Soviet Union high priority, as well as Romania high priority. I think those two are going to be our first targets. And as soon as we get a decent amount of spies in the Soviet Union, we'll work on increasing their threat. Luckily, we're a totalitarian state. We're Stalinist, so we should be able to declare war much easier than we could last time when we were playing Germany, the leader of the Allies. So we had a much higher neutrality, and it was much more difficult for us to actually declare offensive wars. But that shouldn't be a problem this time. There we go. There's that interceptor. We're going to start a new unit of interceptors, I think, and we're going to call it Second Interceptor yet again. Second Int. There we go. And it looks like I forgot to rename this one First TAC. There we go. And now we're going to queue up that those other two interceptors. And we have almost a full 10% light aircraft practical, which is pretty fantastic. We can almost build one of them at full speed. And yes, I know our energy is running low. I am aware. I'm also aware of how much it sucks. There's really nothing we can do about that right now. We're producing a surplus of supplies so that the computer will trade it away. Operational level organization is fantastic. We want to bump that right back up to the top there. One less day. We need to wait in between attacks. Hey, we've got our industrial capacity done. Let's put one on Paris. And we really want to keep these safe, but I guess we'll put another one in Nantes. One down here in Bordeaux, and one down here in Toulouse. And why not? Let's put one over there. And I think we need to cancel the rest of them because we can't support the industrial capacity that we have right now. So it's really kind of stupid to be building more of them. So yeah, we're just going to nix them, and I think we're going to put that IC to use in building yet more infantry. Let's switch it up a little bit, and we'll get anti-tank on these infantry, just to get a little bit of heart attack thrown into the mix. I truly doubt we're going to be facing that much in the way of motorized units this early on, but it's always good to keep our bases covered. Fantastic. I like doing those research tech, the repair rate techs and all that stuff, just sort of passively, like not worrying about it too much. It's not an absolute necessity or anything like that. It's just something that's nice to have, generally speaking. Obviously, the infantry warfare and the operational level organization are fairly necessary because of the straight organization bonus. That's the cavalry. Our infantry brigades are now up to 12.9 now total organization. That's only at 42% officer ratio, and their max organization is 35. So we're still not really looking too hot. We just need to focus on it, basically. Small arms advance is pretty spectacular, and yeah, we won't continue dumping tech into that while we're this far ahead of time. Assault concentration is nice. Where are you on here? Over here. Yeah, that's our support organization. We'll keep going with that. And large front is really only necessary because we want human wave and then maybe large formations. No, I don't think we're going to waste any tech on large formations. It just reduces the combat width of our militia divisions, and guess what? We're not going to be using any militia divisions. Go figure. Are we actually trading away? Yeah, we're actually trading away a significant amount of our supplies, so I think we will hike up our supply production a little bit. There we go. Sounds fine to me. Encourage the AI to continue to trade away our supplies. Smugglers! We can either gain money or gain relationship with the Soviet Union. Yeah, I don't care about our relationship with the Soviet Union. That's these dudes right here. This big old red blob over here is the Soviet Union. And we have a lot of nice cores on them, so we are going to do our best to steal them. And yeah, we're going to continue to sink more tech into our light cruiser production. Speaking of light cruiser production, in the middle of May, next month, we will be able to build new light cruisers. Infantry anti-tank weapons is nice. We'll nix that research because it's inefficient. Up to 50% officer ratio. I feel so fantastic. Alright, and now we are no longer researching any of our standard issue equipment for our infantry. And as soon as we're done with motorized infantry and marine infantry over here, we're going to start working on this standard issue equipment. And by that point, we should be able to start researching 1940 techs without too many detriments to our research speed. So that'll be nice. And in all this time, even though we've been basically building nothing but infantry, we're still gaining a whole bunch of manpower. 14 manpower per month is humongous. I don't think we're ever going to run out of manpower. Light cruiser engine advance. Yep, keep on doing it. We're almost up to time. Like, we started with zero technology researched in terms of our light cruiser or our destroyer engine or anything like that. Central planning. Yeah, keep doing it. We need grand battle plan. And we're almost caught up. We're almost up to date on technology. It shouldn't be that big of a deal because nobody starts out with any navy. It's very possible we have the largest navy right now just because we have a destroyer deployed. I doubt that that's obvious. I doubt that that's the case, but it's possible, honestly. I don't know. I suppose we could take a look at the ledger, but that sounds like work. We are finishing up with our naval bases and infrastructure improvements, so this naval base is now max level, which is absolutely fantastic. Really, that doesn't mean much of anything because we're not going to be deploying any troops there. What it does mean is that we need to really worry about defending it. We do need to worry about... yeah, I think once we have a little bit of IC done, we're not going to sacrifice our naval building for garrisons, but I think once we have a little bit of IC left over, we're going to start building some garrison divisions. And slapping them on some of our important provinces in modern-day France. It's running a little bit laggy here, probably because of the sheer amount of stuff going on right now. The sheer amount of stuff it needs to calculate. Air bases are being built. And yeah, I do expect that that the game will run a little bit slower just because of how large everything is right now. Okay, we have the beginnings of another infantry corps. So we're going to name it just the 6th Corps. And I think we will create a second army down here. We do have an army up here. Yeah, okay. We've got the 1st Army. And the 2nd Army will attach you to the Paris HQ and call that done. We have our first 2 light cruisers, the Égalité and Fraternité. You are a small naval base, but that's okay. We'll deploy you there. And this is going to be our first navy. Awesome. And they are just rank 1, really crappy. They don't have any upgrades at all. We built them right at the beginning to get our practical up. And how much did they actually get our practical up? Not much at all. I believe it was at -60 when we first started building them. Now it is at -30. Still unfortunate, but we are going to build... I think we want to build 3 more now that we actually do have something in the way of technology. Unfortunately, only 1934 stuff, but I mean, hey, that's much better than nothing. So we are going to build 3 of them. I do think we're actually going to bump them to the top because that's relatively important in my opinion. So yeah, we are going to continue on with that. These are pretty crappy cruisers, I'll be entirely honest with you. I would not expect them to last long at all. But what we do want to aim for is this this Grand Fleet thing over here. Basically, the simple act of having a fleet, it gives you organization, regain rate, and leadership rate, and that is not just for your fleets. So if you have 75 ships, you get 15% organization rate. You have 125 divisions, you have 15% organization rate. You have 50 planes, you have 15% organization rate. Combined, this can give you an additional 45% organization regain. And if you have 250 total land battles fought, that's an additional 5%. 100 naval battles fought, an additional 5%, and 100 air battles fought, that's an additional 5%. So you can get a total of, I believe that was 60% organization regain rate bonuses for having an experienced and huge army, which is a humongous advantage. It lets you just completely walk over people. Oh man, we just got a light cruiser tech. Are we gonna get another one soon? We are researching main armament. Where is that main armament? In June. That's a little bit long to wait, but I think that since we don't have much in the way of IC invested in those ones yet, we are going to throw another 3 in production and bump them right back up to the top, because we do want to take advantage of that tech, rather than just have them be outdated right from the get-go. And we are continuing to flesh out the 6th Corps, which means we now have more in the way of production. And since we're not going to be stealing it from our Navy, I think we will go ahead and... Where is our garrison? Here they are. We'll build another Corps of garrison, which are relatively cheap. Look at that. Only 3.72 for these garrison divisions. It's pretty nice. A good way of getting our manpower out on the field. And if we really, really needed to, have somebody... just have bodies on the field, we could start building militia units, but really I've rarely found militia to be much of anything other than a temporary delayer, you know? They don't win anything for you. They just fill holes that you might have in your line. And now all of a sudden we have a bunch more production. We are back up to 285. I doubt that will stay at 285 for very long. We are about to finish with our Special Forces Mountain Brigades. Can we build any other Special Forces? We can build paratroopers. I don't know if that's really necessary. Yeah, I'm really not sure that that's necessary. Really at all. How about we build another corps? I mean, our armor practical is crap. Our mobile unit practical is crap. So these are quite a bit more expensive than normal, but we'll build another corps of our light armored units. Actually, maybe we can sort of cheat the system here. Let's wait for that autosave. Thank you. If we wait until after our light armored brigades are done, we'll get all of the practical from that. I'm not sure if it's worth it to wait, though. Yeah, I don't think it's really worth it to wait. Uh-oh. Assassination attempt of opposition leader. The leader of the largest opposition party was the target of an assassination attempt late last night. Naturally, suspicions have been raised towards our party members, and as a consequence, riots have erupted on the streets between our followers and groups supporting the opposition. We can either do what we can to calm things down, which reduces our money and reduces our ruling party support, or we can just gain 5 in dissent. Let's just do this so that we don't need to reassign any of our industrial capacity. I mean, we don't have elections. We're basically a dictatorship anyway, so, oh no. Like, I don't think we really need to worry about it. What are these? Hey, our Gurkha mountain divisions are finishing up. We're going to deploy them down here into the south. Create a new corps. Oops. And we are going to name them the First Light. We'll call them the Light Corps. Sure, why not? Or do you want to do Mountain Corps? Well, let's call them the Light Corps. We're not going to attach them to the Second Army. We're going to attach them directly to the Paris HQ, and we will deploy them in mountainous regions. where we need to. Hopefully we are expanding our army quickly enough. We don't want to seem weak to our neighbors. Alright, we have researched marine infantry, and we are going to slap that industrial capacity up here in Arctic, and then up here in desert once the motorized infantry deployment is done. And we are up to 63% officer ratio. That's pretty nice. I think once we get to 100%, and it's only June, that's awesome. Once we get up to 100%, I think we are going to steal probably half of the leadership and slap it back on research, just so that we don't end up falling too far behind anybody else. I'm not entirely certain that's going to be an issue we need to worry about, especially because most of the initial combat is going to happen between infantry. But tactical command structure. Where are you on here? There you are. Superior firepower allows us to have another brigade in each division, which, I mean, is pretty nice sometimes. Really, it just seems to expand the combat width of your divisions, which sometimes isn't bad and sometimes is absolutely horrible. But it does improve the morale of our mechanized, motorized, and cavalry divisions, which is nice. We might want integrated support or even mechanized defensive down here at some point. So yeah, let's redeploy that down to integrated support. Just for now. And yeah, we're out of energy again. Thank you for telling me about that game. I had no idea what was happening. There's our main armament. I'm glad we didn't wait until it was done. I mean, it's basically a full month of production on these cruisers. Even though they're going to have crappy main armament, that's okay. I mean, we're really not expecting too much from these initial light cruisers of ours anyway. Yeah, they're really kind of crap, aren't they? Oh well. Our infantry brigades are up to 21 organization, which is fantastic. We are slowly upgrading them. Once again, that's not a priority for our industrial capacity, but we are funding it at about half, at about 50%, so can't complain about that. On the 9th of this month, we are going to deploy our first escort cruiser. Sorry, carrier. Escort carrier. Cruiser. And where's our CAG? Our CAG is down here. Alright, let's rebase it up to Nantes. Just because I hate having organization on these things. Heavy cruiser main armament. Yeah, we're going to keep researching heavy cruiser main armament, and I think we're going to neglect the anti-aircraft armament for a little bit at least. We want to get that up to modern day standards at the very least. And there it is. We now have our first... Ooh, we have another infantry division. Deploy that down here, create a new corps, attach it to the second army. Done. We have our first escort carrier. Rank 1. No upgrades to speak of. Absolutely none. But you can carry a CAG, which is really all we need of you. And now our escort carrier practical is only -20. Fantastic. Let's build... I mean, let's do 2 more. Why not? Let's do 2 more. Hike those up there, and we'll leave these guys at the bottom because they are much quicker to build. Sounds good to me. Failed coup in Poland. I don't even know where these countries are anymore. Yeah, I think it would be really nice. Sea lane defense. Alright. So now we can build convoy escorts, which is pretty neat. Can't really complain about that. I do think we need basing. How about we just we'll get all these doctrine trees unlocked, and then we'll deal with that. I was going to say I do think that it would be a humongous help, and I know that it's really not possible within the game engine, but it would be a humongous help if these randomized nations were named after like their capital city, their capital province, or something like that. Like rather than Romania up here, and I know it's thematic. It's like ha ha ha, Romania's up in Liverpool or wherever. Their capital is actually in Grandtown up here in Scotland. But I would much prefer to be able to use the find province feature and be like, where is Grandtown, rather than have Romania just exist up here, you know? Because I have no idea where Poland is. Where's Poland on this map? And unless I want to... I mean, okay, Poland has like the biggest name in the world, but look at this nonsense. But like, if Poland didn't have the biggest name in the world, I don't want to spend 10 minutes scrolling through the map trying to find their name somewhere on it. just in order to understand what in the flying heck that last pop-up I saw meant. But hey, whatever works. More upgrades for our heavy cruiser. Fantastic. And hey, our first light armored brigade. We are going to attach it to one of our cavalry divisions over here. And it's no longer a cavalry division, even though it's still named the 1st Division of Cavalry. It is now a light armored brigade with cavalry attachments. And yeah, I think we are going to upgrade the cavalry to motorized infantry basically just as soon as possible. And we need to choose more production yet again, which is pretty nice. That means we can build these CAGs as quickly as we want. What do you think, another infantry division? We've got another motorized division over here for another motorized corps over here for the 2nd Army. We have one more infantry corps in production. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we don't have another one. We have the rest of the 7th Corps being fleshed out. So we need 2 more corps of infantry for the 2nd Army. So let's get started on that, shall we? Just take all of the IC, all of it. And there we go. Fantastic. Okay, so that means that the 1st Army is now 100% full. It's no longer under strength or anything like that. So I think we will deploy them to the front line. We're going to leave the 1st Army where it is. We're going to take the 1st Corps up here, have the Corps HQ in Bologna, and then spread the infantry out like this. I know it's only 1 infantry per province, but I'm just interested in basically covering the front line now. We're going to have the 2nd Corps HQ over here in Jouar, and then spread out the infantry divisions, just 1 in each province yet again. I truly doubt that the Soviet Union could match our industrial capacity, honestly. And then the 3rd Corps HQ is going to be down here in Burj, I think. And we're going to deploy the infantry divisions, just 1 per each province again. And the 4th Corps HQ is going to be down here. 1 per province. There we go, and we are going to have the Mounted Corps, no, not down there. We're going to have the Mounted Corps just sort of chill in Châteauroux over here. Let them get to their spots, see if there's any supply issues or if I missed a province. It doesn't look like so. Looks like I did okay. And it is now the end of July, which means it is the 1st of August, 1937. I'm going to take a break here. We are at 75% officer ratio, which means our infantry divisions have now got up to 23.3 organization in total. That's much better than the 0.5 they were just half a year ago. Now their max organization is 35, so we need to get that up to 100%, and then we're going to shoot for 140% after that. But we're going to shoot for it in a less aggressive way, I think. But yeah, I am going to take a break here. Thanks once again for joining me. Feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. And don't comment, or don't subscribe if you don't want to. I don't know. I really don't feel comfortable asking people to like, comment, or subscribe. It feels a little bit selfish. I don't know.